Alright, well, hello everybody, and, let's do some more Monster Man! So yeah, if you haven't already watched the first part in this series, I have a Ruins video of Monster Mix, where I also introduced the concept, all of that. I'm gonna leave all of the introduction and all of that still to that video. So basically what I'm trying to say is, if you're confused as to what this is, go watch the first one, or I guess you don't have to, but it'll make a lot more sense that way. Anyways, let's go into this! Well, Riggedy-Roos, we've made it to the second section of Monster Mix, the Snowdistrict, a replacement for Snowdin in the Monster Mix universe. We're starting with the Nyahaha replacement, Wash You Soul. Firstly though, let's get into the interesting character shifts introduced along with the Monster Mix universe changes as well. As implied by the title of the Nyahaha replacement, Papyrus has been replaced by not one, but 3 Washawas. You can tell how cool Papyrus is, seeing as how he needs to be replaced by 3 whole other characters instead of 1. These Washawas inhabit the titular Snowdistrict, the Snowdin forest replacement. The Snowdistrict is a huge shopping mall-esque area that comes before Snowdin Town in the second section. The Snowdistrict contains many different shops, restaurants, and monsters, so it would only make sense that it would require the best health and safety inspectors, the Washawas. I like how the Washawas work in Monster Mix, as it makes sense in the context of replacing Papyrus, and it's also in the Washawa's Undertale given personalities. Anyways, with all that context out of the way, let's talk about Wash You Soul. Wash You Soul is what you'd expect out of a Nyahaha replacement, a nice bouncy little tune that would suit a group of playful and silly characters. I like the use of Waterfall and Quiet Water as the Washawas themes, as there really is no Ruins leitmotif to be found in area themes due to Sans' upcoming replacement. I also quite enjoyed the additional original part used as well. Overall, Wash You Soul is a nice little track that suits the idea of the Papyrus replacements well. Because of all of this, I think I'll be putting Wash You Soul in the bottom of awesome tracks. Now that we've gone over the Papyrus replacement, you know what time it is. Grillby is the Sans replacement of Monster Mix, and his theme, Roast in Peace, conveys this well. Grillby is described as a chill dude who works at his and Muffet's hybrid bakery / bar and grill at the Snowdistrict. Bakery by day, bar and grill by night. I think the idea of Grillby working with Muffet at a joint restaurant is neat, and the added concept that when off the job, Grillby is interpreted by other NPCs is cool too. As for the song, I actually quite like Roast in Peace, as it's chill, fits in with Grillby's mellow character, and its sound font isn't bad either. Oh, and did I mention that it's all original too? Yeah, this track is completely original and sounds just like what I'd expect a Grillby theme to sound like. And on top of all of that, spoilers I guess, it's even used as a leitmotif in Monster Mix's Megalovania replacement. I think I'll put Roast in Peace just below Soul Purpose in good tracks, as it works well and is used well later on, but it's not quite as defined as things like Wash You Soul. It's the very field theme replacement itself, Monster Mix's snowy replacement, Snowdistrict. Can I just say that this track uses its theming amazingly? It sounds like a song that you'd hear in some sort of mall, being played by a smallish band in the background to various shenanigans occurring throughout, and is so good. Oh yeah, so for Monster Mix, Toadie made the interesting choice to swap Snowdin Forest with Snowdin Town. This might sound a bit confusing, but just think of it like this. Instead of the quiet and quaint Snowdin Forest in Undertale, Monster Mix has a bustling and busy Snowdistrict. This will also come up later in the Snowdin Town replacement, so try to remember that for later. Also, along with this, the description gives us more context into what would be occurring at the Snowdistrict puzzle-wise, saying that Frisk would need to do various item-related tasks to proceed throughout the Snowdistrict. these puzzles being set up by the skeptical Washua Health and Safety team. As for the song itself, it is so good! As already stated, it sounds like something you'd hear at a mall and just makes someone want to get up and go on an adventure. This song only uses Once Upon a Time and Dating Start as leitmotifs too, and it still seems so varied. The song is so upbeat and groovy that I can't help but love it. See, in Jerichode's Undertale OST tier list ranking video, he held the running bit of half-jokingly praising that a song would make you want to get out of your seat and dance. And, well, hate to break it to you, but that's this song right here. No kidding, the first time I heard this song, I couldn't help myself from dancing to the fire beat. We don't talk about the dancing though, because, I can't dance. But my stance still stands. Snowdistrict is just more proof of Toadie's amazing capabilities to make groovy, upbeat, and fire songs. Seriously, amazing job! As for where to put the song, I think I'll put it just barely below Fighting Start. It's a groove, but it doesn't have the same will as a literal battle theme to go as crazy as Fighting Start. But it still does go crazy anyways, I want you to remember that. Anyways, amazing job, Snowdistrict. I look forward to the upcoming area themes ahead. Back to the original songs of Monster Mix, we got another fallen human theme, Jackie's Bravery. Kinda like Patience, I don't have too much to say about this track, as it just follows the formula of Your Best Nightmare Soul section plus Soul Purpose, and add on Once Upon a Time, and you got the song. This might just be my preference for faster moving notes in a song, but I do like the Bravery leitmotif a bit better in this track than Patience's. And I also thought the guitar sound font was pretty neat as well. As you may or may not know, I'm a sucker for the guitar, so this preference may or may not put this track higher because of that. Overall, I think I'll put Bravery and Good Tracks just above Reprimand, as it's better than Patience, but compared to the other much more enjoyable songs, it kinda fails. Here we have it, the Ooh-Wah So Holiday replacement. Awa-Wah So Chilly. This replacement track is a big deal, as in my Undertale OST tier list, the lowest ranked actual song was that of Ooh-Wah So Holiday. So does it follow in the footsteps of its predecessor? No, it's actually kinda nice. It's just a chill, wintry version of Temmie Village, or Dog Song, and there's not much to say about it. It uses the snowy aesthetic of Ooh-Wah So Holiday. With the sleigh bells and chill vibe, the song doesn't actively hurt to listen to. How lively! Other than that, it's just an Ooh-Wah replacement, so it's not too important, and it isn't a crazy song either. So as for its placement, I think I'll be putting it just above Who Cares and Good Tracks. It's miles better than Ooh-Wah So Holiday, but it doesn't beat out tracks like Alfie's To the Rescue or Training Start. Reduce, Reuse, Recoil is the dog bass replacement, and unfortunately, it shows. The song is just a little jingle that lasts for about 6 seconds, but it holds more weight than you might think. First off, the name is a funny take on the saying, reduce, reuse, recycle, but instead of the recycle, it's about the sudden springing or flinching back in fear, horror, or disgust. I like this little play on the pun, and it especially works well with the context that who you're getting ready to fight has been set up to this by the Washuas. Oh yeah, we also get the context in this track that the canine unit is being role shifted to the various vendors in the Snowdistrict, which is another detail I quite like. This track in particular is supposed to play when you're about to go against Caddy and Braddy, which is something I never thought about before, but makes sense in the context of Monster Mix's Snowdistrict. I'll talk more about my thoughts on the shopkeepers replacing the canine unit in the later Here Comes the Boom track, but for now, know this is a welcome concept. As for the song itself, it's just a jingle and doesn't do much, but that makes sense as it is replacing Dog Bass. This track does have one saving grace though, as somehow it manages to be used in the later dog song replacement, Here Comes the Boom, so the continuity is appreciated. As for placement, I think I'll be putting Reduce, Reuse, Recoil at the bottom of decent tracks, as it presents neat ideas, but is a short, almost nothing jingle. Alright, I'ma be real with you all. The Gap is what Undertale's mysterious place should have been. The Gap is a mysterious and ethereal track that just fills one with existential wonder. I love The Gap, and this should make sense to those who saw where I put the choice in the Undertale OST tier list. This song is so good, and works as the room where you would encounter the glide replacement, the Gap Bird. This added context just makes the track all the better, and I love it even more for it. On top of all of this, it uses Bird that carries you over a disproportionately small gap and waterfall leitmotifs, which just elevates it to above perfection. The subtle nudges to waterfall near the end of the track just make it so great. On top of all of this, it's only 1 minute and 36 seconds long, not feeling like it's too short or too long. It's such a good song, and it doesn't even need to be. Because of all of these factors making this track such a good one, I think The Gap is going to be the first track to make it in bestest of the bestest tier. I know this might sound crazy to put The Gap over tracks like Snowdistrict and Fighting Start, but remember that I'm the same stuffy cat that put Premonition in bestest of the bestest tier in the Undertale OST ranking. This song is just too good not to be put in bestest of the bestest. So, that's where it's gonna go. Nice work. Here Comes the Boom is practically the full version of Reduce, Reuse, Recoil, and it's a pretty nice bop. The track in particular centers around the fight Frisk would have against Gerson in Monster Mix, Gerson probably being the greater dog replacement, as this is the dog song replacement. Most of the song is original, only drawing from Ruins and the already mentioned Reduce, Reuse, Recoil. I honestly could have sworn that this track used Dating Start, as dog song mainly draws from enemy approaching, but I guess I Mandela affected myself with that one because it does not. Also, as previously stated as well, I do enjoy the idea of Undertale's shopkeepers being the canine unit replacement in Monster Mix's Snowdistrict, as I feel like the variety in the battles could be really interesting. I imagine knick-knack themed attacks coming from Caddy and Bratty, and fast food themed attacks coming from Burger Pants. It just opens up so many cool possibilities. As for the song itself, it's definitely a nice and catchy tune like Dog Song, but its lack of variation definitely does bring it down a bit for me. I think Here Comes the Boom's internal continuity with Monster Mix and its simplistic appeal is going to comfortably put it above Wash You Soul and Awesome Tracks. Nice going, Gerson. Okay, so here's where the more traditional dog song replacement went. Flake Out is basically what you'd expect out of a dog song replacement if the annoying dog was Temmie. Dating Start, but played with cat meow sounds. Honestly, I'm sorry, but I don't like listening to this song just because of its sound font. I know that's a low blow to a song, but if the very medium a song is trying to use isn't working for me, the song's not going to be very enjoyable to listen to, no matter how good it is. Funny enough, Dog Song had the opposite problem, its sound font being so distracting that the actual melody is drowned out and underappreciated, while here the sound font is so unenjoyable that I can't enjoy the melody of the song. I will give credit where it's due, as this would definitely work as a Temmie greater dog replacement song. Sorry, Gerson, I was probably wrong about what I said earlier, but it's ruined by the weird meow sound font. I hate to do this, but I think Flake Out might be the first track to make it in Rather Not Listen Tier. I know this might sound harsh to the track. Why not just put it in and not my favorite? It's not that bad, right? But its feel genuinely does fit the name of the Rather Not Listen Tier, as the meows make me not want to listen to the song at all. All this coming from a guy named Stuffy Cat, too. Sorry, Monster Mix, but Flake Out definitely flaked out with this one? I honestly don't know anymore. Let's move on. Catalog is the shop replacement for Monster Mix, and somehow I think it pulls off the shop vibe more than shop itself. It sounds like something you'd hear in a nice retail outlet, and uses the Snowdin Town and Dating Start leitmotifs very well. I also don't know if I'm hallucinating the enemy approaching reference with the da da do 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 part of the song, but I think I'm just gonna give in and believe it was intentional. I kinda wish if enemy approaching was more of a main focus in this track, to stick with a continuity later seen in the dating replacements, so that's a bit of a lost opportunity. This track is just so good at being atmospherically sound that the bad parts of the track almost don't matter. I don't think I'll ever go out of my way to listen to this track, but its clear personality does definitely put it at a solid good tracks. I think I'll be putting Catalog right below Roast in Peace and good tracks because of this. Well, with a shop replacement, we now gotta get the Snowdin Town replacement, Sub-Zero Suburbs. Sub-Zero Suburbs feels like a Snowdin Town replacement, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, as Snowdin Town is a nice and friendly little song that I quite enjoyed in Undertale's OST. This track feels different from Snowdin Town, as Snowdin Town felt more artificial and distant, while Sub-Zero Suburbs felt more bombastic and close, which makes sense in context to where it would play. As described earlier in Snowdistrict, Monster Mix is Snowdin Forest and Snowdin Town swapped, meaning that the usually bustling Snowdin Town of Undertale is replaced with a more cozy and silent Sub-Zero Suburbs of Monster Mix. I quite like this change, as it also works in the context of the track. I enjoy the use of Once Upon a Time and Snowy in this track, as it provides a nice variety unlike that of Snowdistrict or No Longer Ruined. The Snowy leitmotif also probably means something pretty substantial, as it's used in the later Undertale replacement track, Home Stretch. So having the introduction of that leitmotif here, so early on, is appreciated. Overall, Sub-Zero Suburbs feels so personal, unlike even that of Undertale's Snowy, and it works in the context of where it would be used, while also just being a good song. I don't think I feel as strongly about it as I do for something like Melting Under Pressure though, so I think Sub-Zero Suburbs is going to have to go in awesome tracks, right above No Longer Ruined. It's not an absolute bop like Snowdistrict, but I appreciate the effort. Well, here we have it folks, the Bone Trousel replacement itself, Deep Cleanse. This track would specifically play when Frisk would be put up against the head Washua himself, head Washua, or who I'll be calling Cap.
Because he has a cap on his head.
Cap, being the captain of the USHA, Underground Safety and Health Administration, is looking to keep the underground squeaky clean, and Frisk's soul most of all. This would likely be the point in time where Cap makes sure that Frisk's soul is fully clean, which is cool because the Washuas are papyrus replacements and focused on keeping Frisk's soul clean in Undertale, and I feel like we're retreading ground. I'm getting deja vu. Now that I think about it, this whole song just feels like we're retreading old ground all over again. I get it, Bone Trousel was practically retreading Nyehehe's ground, but there was at least some extra oomph in that song that Nyehehe didn't inherently have. I kinda wish Deep Cleanse had that sort of tonal beat drop that Bone Trousel had, because without it, Deep Cleanse just feels empty. It's just a slightly bigger version of Wash You Soul, with the addition of a slight reference to Battle Against a True Hero at the end, which is just the Ruins leitmotif, but let me have this one, okay? Overall, I'm kinda disappointed with Deep Blends, and who knows, maybe I'd like it more if I got to know the Washua's characters more if Monster Mix was an actual game, but I don't know. It's kinda just a lackluster fill-in for Cap's Bone Trosser replacement, and I don't have much to say about it apart from that. Because of this, I think I'll be putting Deep Cleanse right above Wash You Soul and Awesome Tracks. I hope the dating replacement tracks can pick back up the mood before we get to Waterfall. Being the dating start replacement, Good Clean Fun fills the shoes of this great track well. The description of the track tells how, in the fight against the head Washua Cap, Frisk can use one of their act options to suggest watching over the USHA's work in the Snowdistrict and learning how to be as clean as inhumanly possible. Get it? 'Cause they're monsters! If Frisk doesn't do the specific act in the fight, Cap will suggest the idea by the end of his fight, stating that one can never strive hard enough to stay clean. If the player decides to take up this offer, he or she will help the Washuas with the mundane parts of their everyday jobs. Okay, this by itself is a cool concept, and the track perfectly conveys this as well. We finally get to hear the dating start replacement leitmotif, Enemy Approaching. See, I told you I wasn't crazy. I think Enemy Approaching is used well in this track, making it feel playful and fun like dating start, but a little less personal. Which makes sense as you're not only not dating the Washuas, but you're also hanging out with multiple of them. Don't worry though, because this track isn't done yet, as at the halfway mark of the song, it gives absolute tonal whiplash to the listener, going insanely hard and crazy for no reason. Funny enough, I think this works for the Washuas, as they are the ultimate sticklers for health and safety. So I can imagine the mundanity of work switching into hard cracking down on some sort of danger to the Snowdistrict's health or safety, whether it be an actual big threat or just some monster litter. During this part, Good Clean Fun brings in the Waterfall and Wash You Soul leitmotifs, which perfectly ties this track all together, something that, to my knowledge, Dating Start never did with the Papyrus leitmotifs. The track then uses the rest of the time it has, weaving in and out of the bouncy playfulness of Enemy Approaching and the heavy harshness of the Washua's themes, making for a great track. Overall, Good Clean Fun is a great dating start replacement, using the Washua's leitmotifs while providing a funny story through the song itself. I think because of all of this, I'm going to be putting Good Clean Fun at the top of Awesome Tracks, as it's a really good track, but it is kinda long and takes a bit to get into the Wash You Soul and Waterfall leitmotifs. Nice job, what a good track. USHA Violation is the dating tense replacement, and it shows. The song is just a repeated waterfall leitmotif with a subtle anticipation leitmotif in the background. That's it. I will admit, the anticipation leitmotif is used pretty nicely here, in a way that I enjoy. Yeah, that's right, I enjoy the use of the anticipation leitmotif. Fight me! It's a cool reference to how the dating start leitmotif was replaced with Enemy Approaching, so to have anticipation and the dating tense replacement, it just makes sense. Other than that, it's a nothing song, but I do like the leitmotifs used, as they represent the Washuas inspecting a safety or health risk well. Other than that, nothing. I'll be putting USHA Violation just above Patience and Decent Tracks. Sorry Washuas, you couldn't escape the trap of dating tense's midness. Pressure Washer, great name by the way, like Dating Fight, is just strictly the good parts of Good Clean Fun, but with USHA Violation's Awesome Leitmotif Edition as well. This track in particular would play when the Washuas deal with a health and safety violation in the Snowdistrict. Quote, with the most epic monster mix energy imaginable. Not exactly how Toadie described it, but I think you get the picture. Pressure Washer perfectly fits this description, basically just being a more punchier version of Good Clean Fun's Enemy Approaching, along with Watch You Soul, Waterfall, and Anticipation in the background of this madness. Like I said before, Pressure Washer has all the benefits of Dating Fight, along with having a fire title, by the way. Like, actual Pressure Washer, it's just so good. I don't have much to say about this track because it's just so good that there's not much to say except that it's just that good. Fire song, it's going to the bottom of amazing tracks. I probably would have put it higher if this was the best Washable Gang song in Monster Mix, but that's just simply not true. Unfortunately, we have a while until we get there, but it'll still be good when we do, don't you worry. Okay, on to the Premonition replacement. Wait a minute. A short break from the sequentially placed replacement tracks, we have the Confession replacement, Amends. Unfortunately, the epic Washawicity of the Washawas dealing with health and safety risks in QC's store, they went a bit overboard and somehow made a bigger mess than what they were trying to clean. Amends would play when the Washawas reevaluate their actions and apologize for what they did, making Amends an overall insert apology track in Monster Mix. This is a really neat idea, as I kinda see Monster Mix's relationship style less as the dating that Undertale used and more of a deeper understanding of the other character. So an apology track would really add to the weight of those interactions. The track itself is an obvious Confession replacement, only using Snowy as its leitmotif, and sounding regretful but hopeful at the same time. It's nothing too crazy, but what are you expecting out of a Confession replacement anyways? Something like Hopes and Dreams? Anyway, it's a nice track with cool concepts behind it, so I'll be putting it right next to another conceptually cool track, above Reprimand and Good Tracks. Okay, now on to the Premonition replacement. Whoa. If you are expecting anything like Undertale's Premonition, take a second to readjust your expectation. Because, spoilers I guess, Grilby's replacement of Sans and Monster Mix majorly changes the context of all of Sans' replacement tracks. And to be clear, I'm not making this out to be a bad thing either. No way. I just wanted to make sure, because this Premonition replacement even surprised me. And Toadie made sure to make this known in the description of this song as well. Anywho, Pastry Parlor would play when Frisk is taken by Grilby to his and Muffet's bakery/bar and grill, specifically during the day when it's still Muffet's bakery, to get a little treat. The track is original, apart from its ghost fight and, of course, spider dance leitmotifs. And you know what? It's a pretty decent track, as it sounds nice, cozy, and a little playful, which Muffet, so duh, and like a Muffet Grilby-owned restaurant. The spider dance leitmotif is as great as ever in this track, and guess what? I still like the idea of Grilby and Muffet becoming closer to holding a food place together. Pastry Parlor isn't insane, but it doesn't have to be, as it's basically an area theme. I'm gonna be putting Pastry Parlor just below No Longer Ruined and Awesome Tracks. It's not as good as Undertale's Premonition and can't be used in that many circumstances because of its spider dance leitmotif, but it's still a dang good song. Great way to end off the Snowdin section, Pastry Parlor. Now, let's venture forth into the dangerous waterfall. Or rainfall. Ooh. No, not that ooh. Thanks for the support on the last video. I know it might not seem like much, but it's just awesome. I love talking about Monster Mix. Monster Mix is so cool. Yeah, so thanks for watching. Looking forward to these upcoming parts.